It is the G1 Devastator. Well, kind of. It's in white. But wait, it's the G1 Devastator. But wait, it's in orange? So yes, as you can imagine, these are the latest Chinese counterfeit reissues. Well, they've been around for a while, to be quite honest, but I finally got these in. I've seen a lot of interest about these, and I decided I was gonna get them myself. And I'm gonna have Leo, aka Leo Prime, joining me. So these are not the first oddly colored versions of Transformers Constructicons, or Transformers in general, but I'm gonna go through these KOs bit by bit, and Leo and I are gonna see how they are. Are they worth getting? Especially in such interesting colors. So, if you're new to the channel, you've already met Leo. I'm Captain Kyle. If you've been watching for a while, I'm still Captain Kyle. And thanks for coming back. That's awesome. And I'm just trying to keep Leo from knocking over these boxes. But we're gonna go through these guys bit by bit. Maybe there could be some bonus appearances by other versions of Devastator. Well, other versions of the G1 and G2. Anyways, we're gonna have some fun. So, buckle up. Oh, and be right back. Okay, so yes, so I purchased these, and as you can see, this is a white set of Devastator. Now, in the Shattered Glass universe, apparently the Constructicons are white, I'm guessing, from what I've seen. I don't think these are going to be exactly, but you can kind of use them as G1 Shattered Glass. These are orange, which, not to be confused with the actual G2 Orange Constructicons that were released at KB Toys. But I used to have them, they went in the purge, and now, well, I decided that I wanted at least something similar until I found an opportunity to purchase them at a reasonable price, which is very difficult for G2 Orange. Pretty rare. So I'm going to open up these beautiful boxes, but before I do want to talk about the boxes. The seller shipped these. I got them through eBay, and I will link to the listing and the seller. But I ordered both of them from the same seller, and they were packaged perfectly, and these are beautiful boxes. They're not dented, they're not crushed. They are awesome with the Series 2 artwork on the back. I can't see with a quick inspection any typos, but again, should you purchase these, say, in their original color, please don't try to pass it off as a real set of Devastator. Now, the artwork obviously shows the lime green that we're all used to, but the box inside, through the windows, you can see, in this case, they're orange. But these are beautiful boxes. I almost feel horrible about opening them up because they're so beautiful. They're the most beautiful boxes. Just this big bot, strong bot came up to me, lubricant leaking from his optic sensors, and said, "Mr. President, these are the most beautiful boxes I have ever seen with these particular toys in it." So awesome. Anyways, it's called Parody of a Public Figure. So if Leo will allow me to, I'm gonna open up these very beautiful boxes. I'm going to do it carefully because I do plan on keeping the boxes because I might want to display them because they look very cool in these boxes. Though they'll probably end up in Devastator mode on a shelf next to a bunch of other Devastators. But I'm going to slice these while Leo is over there. I know someone said, "Oh, you're being cautious with the knife around the cats. That's getting old, man." It's like, these are my cats. I am not putting my cats in danger for the sake of a review. And if you have problems with that, well, you don't have to watch, or you can fast forward through that part. So removing from the box, the white ones, they're very bright. See them all in there, all 6 Constructicons: Scavenger, Mixmaster, Scrapper, Hook, Long Haul, and Bonecrusher. I didn't say them in order of the numbers, but also in the box, there are instructions, which I will not need, but I can also see in it there are some rub signs. Now, this is a clear giveaway that these are knockoffs because the originals had the rub signs already put on there. I'm pretty sure in the stickers, there's also factory stickers that were put on at the factory with the originals. So if someone tries to pawn off a green set as a real one and you open it up and you see rub signs in here, yeah, hunt them down. Kill them. No, don't kill them. It's illegal, but, try to get your money back. And on the other side of the cardboard, there's a big bag of accessories. I can see that a lot of the accessories are purple. Some are white, as opposed to the lime green, which would be on the original ones. And hopefully all the accessories in here, we will find out. And I see chromed missiles on there and nothing else. So I am going to take out the white Constructicons, which I don't have to cut any ties, but let's zoom in a little bit so we can see the white ones. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through each figure, but I'm going to do both colors simultaneously because otherwise this will get a little repetitive. So I'm going to just zoom in because you got to zoom in quite a bit. These guys are not the biggest. There's Long Haul. He's got no stickers on him. We have Hook, who, well, let's just say a lot of G1 Hooks did not survive the test of time. One of the most broken Constructicons found. Bonecrusher, who's actually the first Constructicon I got and kind of my favorite. I really like his robot mode, even though there are limitations. Scavenger, and I'm gonna have to zoom out a little bit more because we got a couple more coming. Mixmaster. And the leader, generally accepted as a leader, though he's not like listed as a leader, I don't think. Scrapper, who proposed that since they formed the most powerful Decepticon, the Constructicon should rule. But somehow Starscream got his way. So I'm gonna put this box away carefully. Now that we've unleashed the white versions, let's get out the orange. I'm very curious about these. I'm not going to put on the stickers during this. I will probably put on the stickers later. I hope I remember to put on the stickers. Sometimes I forget, and that's kind of hilarious considering one of my sponsors frequently is Toyax. Not for this video, but... And putting his tail in front of the Constructicons is Stormy. So Leo has left us, and Stormy is now on the table. I don't know why I took out my knife. Already cut this. All right, I'm gonna move these guys back a little bit, and Stormy's gonna get even more on the way. All right, so in very nice orange, and it looks, since I don't have it to compare to, I don't have the orange ones to compare to, but it looks very much like I remember the orange Constructicons looking. So, however, there are definitely differences. So if someone tries to take one of these out of the package and pawn them off as G2s, I will show you the differences. I mean, no one should do that. No collector should do that, but we've seen figure swapping. I almost said finger swapping, and that would be really, really weird. Don't swap anyone's fingers. So I could name them all again. Do you really need to test me on my knowledge of Constructicons at this point? So there's the orange ones. Mixmaster, Hook, Bonecrusher, Scavenger, Scrapper, and Long Haul. We didn't join this outfit to be no dump truck. Voiced by Craig Berger. And looking at the labels, the decals that they provide, there appears to be no difference. So now it is my understanding, doing a little research, that perhaps, very nice orange and purple parts, the original G2s had slightly different stickers, but that was from AI, so that could be wrong. I mean, Hasbro might have just done the same stickers. So, but here we go. So let's take a look at the leader first. We're gonna take a look at Scrapper. So I'm gonna put all these guys over here. I'm gonna put all these guys over here. But before we go too far, I do want to open up the accessory bags. So I'll make sure everything's here. And there was a good reason to take out the knife because this bag is a little difficult. So I will slice them open. So in the white, it looks to me like we have everything, but let's just check. We have the hip piece or leg connectors. We have the chest shield. We have the drill missiles for Scavenger and Bonecrusher, and the head missiles for Mixmaster. We have the head, we have the right arm, forearm for Scavenger, and the right fist. But you wonder, how did I know it was the right arm? Because the backs. This is for Bonecrusher, that is the left. You have the gun, we have the head gun, we have Mixmaster's gun in black. We have Hook's gun, which was used to kill poor Prowl. That is Scrapper's gun. I believe that is Scavenger's gun. I did say Scrapper for that one. Bonecrusher's gun in white, the left fist, and Long Haul's gun. So it looks like we got all the pieces there. I'm not going to name them for the orange, but I am going to quickly take them out and make sure we have everything. Otherwise, certain things we will not be able to do. It looks like we got all the orange pieces too. All right, so Scavenger, who is the leader? And I'm going to push the pieces in opposite directions because the purple actually looks a little bit different. On the orange, it looks like they actually went with the purple that goes with the G2s. So that could make it even more difficult to tell were it not for, some giveaways. I'm going to bring over the Turntable of Doom. So we're looking at them right now, obviously, in their vehicle modes. He is a power shovel, something like that. A very cool construction vehicle. We're going to do a quick roll test. Which, if you push too hard on these guys, yeah, they're not the best at rolling. I don't remember. Ooh, that one was better. Maybe I just need to adjust some things for the white one. The white one, for some reason, doesn't roll as well as the orange one. Now, what some people may not realize is the Devastator pieces could actually connect to these guys in their vehicle modes, so they had additional purposes. In the case of Scrapper, you would take the chest shield, and there were smokestacks on the back that you could attach this wing to, and he became a flying construction vehicle. And I guess these could also be guns, so he would fly the trench, try to blow up the Death Star, whatever the case might be. So that, the accessory that goes as part of Devastator, that also goes with his vehicle mode. Now, if you're not familiar with the G1s, I'm not going to measure both of them. Scrapper is about 4 inches long from shovel to the very end. Transformation on these guys, it was G1, very simple. You basically flip, and the canopy here, obviously it has a canopy. That's a part that's quite often missing when you're trying to find Constructicons. So these back legs, you actually want to wiggle them out to separate them, and they are kind of stiff because they actually do his legs separate, shut up Logan, a bit. So you wiggle it, and that way you can put him in that standing mode. Now, when his head is down, there's a mechanism in there, or at least there should be, that keeps these out so that when he's in Devastator mode, he can stand. When you pull the head up, like so, I'm going to wiggle it just a little bit. Those do sink in so you can put the power shovel further down, and then there he is with his arms. So it's, for some reason, it was much stiffer. Shut up, Logan. With the white one, not a racist comment, than with the orange one. But there he is, and I am pretty sure that this is his gun. I could actually peek at the directions. It's been a long time. I definitely know most of them, and I'm pretty sure that that is his gun. It has been a minute since I've transformed them individually. Yes, that is his laser pistol. I'll grab the one from this side, and I just want to make sure that it fits. Now, I'm noticing with the orange, it fits kind of loosely. It stays, but it can wiggle. Whereas with the white one, it's very tight. So people often say, well, they're using the same molds more than likely to create these, why do you call them knockoff, counterfeit, stuff like that? Because even though they might be using the same molds or made molds based on the original toys, they don't necessarily go through the same level of quality control. I mean, they're pretty good quality thus far, but there can be slight things, such as one gun here is loose and the other one is tight. Now, if I switch them, it appears that it's even tighter to try to get it into the orange one's hand. So I'm glad that it does get into the white one's hand. And for the white one, I mean, it gets in there, it's also a bit loose. So there are certain things that they do with these guys that are not exact, or not as exacting as what Hasbro and Takara ensure that these toys go through as far as QC checks and all that. Not saying they're bad, just saying not quite as exacting. And yeah, that loose gun is kind of a bother, but he's going to end up as Devastator, so I hope. So that probably won't be an issue. So as far as posability, it's a G1. With this guy, you can bend him at the knee. His arms, with that loose gun, can go up and they can go down. They can't go all the way around because his arms are designed to go straight up when he is in Devastator mode. The head's not going to turn, so very little posability. So there you have Scrapper, the leader. Next, we're going to go with Long Haul. Guy who didn't join this outfit to be no dump truck, but he's a dump truck. And he's got a lot of wheels. Again, the purple seems a little bit different. Also, I'm noticing that he is not quite properly transformed coming right out of the box in the case of the white one. Not a major big deal. I'm just going to pull out his arms for a moment and turn his fists inward, and I'm going to hope that they turn inward. They are a little stiff to turn, but they are turning inwards. The right arm was more stiff than the left. And push it back in, and now he is properly his dump truck form. Now for these guys, their weapon was actually the hip piece that on, I'm not sure, I don't recall offhand, but a quick check says yes, you actually do take the hip piece and it's supposed to connect somehow here. I generally didn't attach these weapons in their vehicle modes when I was younger. I very much preferred to just have them be construction vehicles. But there you go, you actually put the little hip piece and slide it onto this part of the weapon. I don't think I ever did that when I was younger. I knew about this, I just didn't know that the hip piece had a particular function. But there you go. There they are, fully outfitted with their weapons. I guess these are either guns or missiles or something like that. They do detach normally, and they're pretty tight. I don't want to detach it, but I've seen them detach in the past, so it'll be. Roll test. Not too bad. Actually, I think in this case, the white one slightly better than the orange. So now we're going to take this off because these have no place in the robot mode that we're about to change them into. And again, very simple transformations. I'll do it on the orange one this time. Flip back the, I guess, bed of the dump truck. A little styrofoam on here to form the legs. Pull under the wheels to pull the arms out to the sides. Flip the fist forward. This is being very easy. Shut up, Logan. Flip the front part forward, and that pops in to become his chest. Then take this part here, it's nice and stiff, not like Logan would want, but it does not flop back. And then you pull up his head and you give him his gun. So he's about 3 3/4 inches long in vehicle mode. I realized I didn't measure Scrapper. Scrapper's about a little bit shy of 4 inches in robot mode. In robot mode, long haul is about the same. So they scaled well with one another. And now, obviously, I showed you this transformation. I'm transforming both of them because I want to make sure that the quality is there. Because there have been instances where the quality has been less than great on some of these KOs, and I want you to know what you're getting. And I do have to say that, like the white Scrapper, when you flip back his legs, they actually kind of separate a little bit. And with the white ones, I actually have to wiggle it over a bit before I can get him into his proper robot mode. Now, his gun for the orange one seems fine. The white one, super tight. It fits in there, but it can't go into the hand as far as this one. This one seems perfectly fine. It's not too loose, wasn't difficult to get in. Have a field day, Logan. But this one here, again, putting it in the hand, very tight. So far, the white is tight. Rhymes and slightly disturbing. All right, next on our list, we're gonna go with Scavenger. So again, Scavenger, we're not gonna do a roll test because he does not have wheels. He has these fake treads, so it would be more of a slide test, but he does have a working shovel. He's an excavator, I believe. I could be wrong. People have told me this stuff and I forget because, you know, too much plastic crack. But they are looking good in this mode. You can also turn all the way around the top part for both of them. Now, the forearm piece that has the 2 holes that are like, when you hold it like this, are vertical, that goes here in his vehicle mode. Now, unfortunately, you have to push the shovel forward in order to attach that there. And then off the sprue, we are taking one of the missiles. I don't believe there's any difference between the missiles for Bonecrusher and for Scavenger. But if I load the missile in, just like so, it clicked into place nicely, so that's good. That kind of came off. This one seems a little more of a hair trigger. Now, with the G2, they did have these, but there was no launching capability. We're gonna see what the launching capability is. 1, 2, 3, doesn't seem to want it fired, but that looked like American design. It did not go far. Let's see with the orange. That had force. But for some reason, putting it on here, it does not hold as well as the white one. It is slightly loose. So orange is apparently loose. I'm not going to make any judgments about that. Now the fists, there are no use for the fists outside, but at least the forearms, you get these missile launchers. I'm gonna take those away. Now measuring, if you extend the shovel all the way, as far as you can, he's actually, from the front of the shovel, he's almost 4 3/4 inches long. If you bring that in and you just measure from the treads, he's like barely slightly over 2 inches. And here's Leo Prime to visit once again. All right, let's go through the transformation here. I'm sure Leo is very interested. We'll use the white one. So very simple. You flip these down, the treads. So these are the feet. You make sure that they are pointed in the proper direction. So the slant is upward, and you can turn at the ankle. I have to say it's a little, no, not surprising, tight to do that. Here on the top of his, or the back of the vehicle, there's 2 little slots. If you push your fingers in there and pull out, or go to the sides at the same time. Again, these are a little tight. Usually it only takes going from the top, but pull out the arm from each side. And again, the white seems very tight. I'm gonna use this here to help out. Flip up his head. Now this chest piece, this is actually the connector for Devastator. This should stay up. It seems to have a little bit of a gap, a little more than I'm used to. But let's put his gun in his hand, which I believe is this one. And from the white side, it's actually loose. So there isn't a consistency here. His gun is so loose it will fall out of his hand. All right, let's transform the orange one, which transforms much more easily. So far, I'm liking the orange better. So in an opposite thing, the orange one, very tight for the gun. The white one, very loose. And he stands, again, about 4 inches tall. And he's not the most stable. So I'm gonna leave the gun out because it falls. I'm gonna turn very slowly so you can see him from all angles. But they still fall over. So anyways, that is Scavenger. Halfway done. Let's go with Mixmaster next. So again, a decent cement mixer truck. Now his only weapon is plugging in Devastator's gun right there on the top. And in this case, they both seem equally well fitted. Or you can take the big gun, put it back here. And this is the only Constructicon, I believe, that actually has his handgun in use in his vehicle mode. So he can be doubly armed. Now roll test, because he's got wheels. Not too bad. A little bit better again with the orange. Rolls a bit farther, but still, again, how much are you gonna roll these guys? But very good. Now feeling the quality of the plastic, it doesn't seem any different to me than what Hasbro usually puts out. So I'm not gonna complain about that. We're gonna need the handguns. Transforming this guy is super simple. And lengthwise, he's about a hair over 3.5 inches long. So to transform him, you actually take the front of the cab and you just flip it forward. And you got to wiggle it a little bit, but there he is standing. You pull out the arms here on the sides, and ta-da, there he is in robot mode. They seem about the same as far as transforming difficulty, but he also has options. You can put the double missile here into his head, or you can use the single missile. I don't know anyone who wants to use a single missile, but for purposes of this demonstration, I'll use a single missile here. I believe that the G2 only came with a double missile, and again, there was no trigger to launch it because this actually should fire. So let's give it a shot. Wow, white one definitely has some distance on him. Orange as well, so they fire quite well. There they are. Again, the purple is different, and it looks like they used the coloration for the G2. Now, the one thing that I'm noticing is there's no stamp on these guys that says Decepticon with a G2 Decepticon symbol on it. So, well, looks pretty darn close, again, to what I remember of the G2. So that was Mixmaster, who standing is about 4 inches tall. Big surprise, and I just shot him this. I'll get it later. Hook is next. And again, Hook, one of the more, how shall we say, broken of the G1s. Now, I don't particularly like this post being on that side. I prefer it inside, so I'm gonna wiggle it and push it in. Shut up, Logan. There's no way in this video that there's not gonna be innuendos. That seems very tight. Might have to loosen the screws in this guy because once you pull him out, it doesn't fully go back in. So that may be an issue. So Hook, who actually has a hook that extends. It's chrome, looks good. This part can also turn all the way around. This one turns all the way around. It just feels a little stiffer. To be honest, I've seen the white ones for a long time. The orange ones seem to be newer. That would also explain why they decided to go with the purple that actually goes with the G2. So I have a feeling that this is an older design, older mold, could be even older stock. But his weapon is the head. You put Devastator's head on this post like so. You take the head gun and plug it into the side. And I am incorrect because he also can take his handgun and plug it in here. The gun that killed Prowl. Wasn't even used by Hook. So this feels good, but slightly looser than this one. So I don't know if I should try loosening screws or if I should to get him seated back together properly. But there he is, fully armed, ready for combat. And his length is 3 7/8 inches. If you extend, then you're closer to like 5-ish. All right, roll test for Hook. Actually very good for the orange, the white. Not as good. I tried to drop some hints to some people I know in China who might know people at the plants that make the stuff. So it's possible that I said, you should do the D2 stuff. You should do, with Bruticus, you should do a battle Gaia. You should do a Guard City with Defensor. Maybe we'll see those. That would be really cool. I mean, I'll never get originals of those. But anyway, that is vehicle mode. Now the white one, the hook seems kind of floppy. Again, the orange seems better. Again, my suspicion being that the orange is newly manufactured and they might have done some revamping to the molds. Transformation time. So this is the worrisome bit. I'm gonna use the orange one here because you actually have to kind of separate him like so with his legs and carefully push them back. And as they go back, they can move out. So again, a little bit of posability there. Well, then you close that up again, pull his arms out, which are with the wheels, put the gun in his hand. I am trying to keep track of the gun, especially the ones that are black and look identical, that came with each set, so that I can make sure to do a full review on that. So there he is. Now, if you need to prop him up a little bit, you can extend his hook a little bit, and that gives him some stability, so Hook can stand with his hook. Not always the most stable with these two oddly shaped feet. Do the same thing. That came out more easily, separating the feet. Not too bad, but a little stiffer. Arms are a little stiff. One thing that concerns me is I've had knockoffs that have had arms just like pop out, and that's never a good thing. So his head flips up, but it seems very loose in there. So that might need some adjustment, maybe some clear coat nail polish carefully applied here so that it just stays up better. But so there's a major fault in our cars, the fault in our construction vehicles. He seems even more likely to flop. So definitely going to use the hook on the back to make it less likely that he does. They do look kind of naked without any stickers. And again, that's why they had the factory stickers, but they appear to be included with these. Or you can always get quality stickers from someone like, say, I don't know, Toy Hacks. So there he is in his robot mode. He's slightly more than 4 inches, maybe 4 1/8. So he's one of the taller boys. But there we have Hook. And our final, which is my favorite of all of the Constructicons, because he was my first Constructicon, and I really like the way he transforms. It's Bonecrusher. So Bonecrusher, you will find him sometimes without the canopy. So no roll test for these guys. Again, like Scavenger, fake treads. Fake treads, just fake treads. I don't know why they bother with these treads. But looks cool from all sides. Now, if you take the other forearm, you can plug it into here. Now the white one's loose. Put a missile in and doesn't seem to want to fire, which is actually not a horrible thing because that's where the fist goes later on. If we go with the orange one, that seems also loose. This goes in fine, fires with decent force. So there he is with his missile launcher, and from shovel to the end, he's about 3 inches, slightly less, maybe 2 7/8. Transforming him. So you take the arms here, or the top, which are the arms, and you flip them out like so. Then you can turn them like so, upwards. This canopy, move it back this far for now. You'll move it back more. Take the front part, the shovel, fold it up, that becomes his chest. Take these wonderful fake treads and flip them down like so. Pull on the ends, shut up Logan, and you get a foot on each one. The arms you can bend like so. This can go all the way back, pull up his head, and there you go, you have Bonecrusher with his gun. And I just, out of all of them, he had the best looking robot mode and a very cool transformation, a little bit more complex than some of the others. Pulling the feet out of the white one, it's a little stiff. And so there's Bonecrusher in all his glory in 2 different colors. Though, like all of them, not the most stable when you're spinning them around. Height-wise, he's about 4 inches if you count from the back of this canopy thing here. The white one, the head seems a little looser. It will stay, but just flips forward much more loosely. All right, now it's time. Constructicons merge into Devastator. Okay, so to transform them into Devastator, let's start with the feet. Mixmaster here, we're gonna take out his gun, or he shot his missile over there and I'm gonna get it eventually. Push in his arms. Pretty much putting them back into vehicle mode is almost the first step. But then you wanna pull a little stiff. Mixmaster, so he extends like that, and you can make him into a leg. Scrapper, put up his arms, fold in his legs, and you want to make sure that the power shovel comes down and you push in the head, and that should put those pieces here that hold the power shovel in the right spot. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and you can attach Scrapper by pushing him into this piece and then popping this piece into the back. Now you do want to push in this part first. It's a little stiff to get that into place. There's also side pieces that fit in by his wheels, but then you get him in there and he's all set. Mixmaster's a little easier. It even covers his face. You push the square part to this square part, and ta-da, there's the lower body. So long haul, fold in his fists and push those in, push the head forward, bring this up, not all the way, and you want to fold the, cargo area up like so. This orange piece, which will have stickers on it eventually. There's a little slot under here and a little long post there. So that's his hip piece, and you push this part down till it snaps on top of the legs. Hook, push his head down, push his arms in, pull him out entirely. So this is the leg part. There's also a slot here, and you pull that all the way out. Fold in his legs, and basically you fold him in half so the butt of the vehicle and the front are facing the same way. Take this metal piece and you want to push it out to the side. That is for attaching an arm. Take the head piece, which I still have the head gun in it, pull the head up, turn the head gun forward, and you want to slide this whole piece onto the back. Now you have a post and a hole and a post, attach them there, and you have an armless Devastator. The chest shield, there's a post here and there's a clip here. So what you do is you push the post on and the clip goes onto the front of that. And it's a little tight. I've probably done it before I attached him. So I'm gonna take him off and we'll just reattach him in a moment. But that fits nicely. All right, we'll reattach him here and ta-da. Still armless, but he's got a chest shield. Bonecrusher, you basically transform him back into a bulldozer. And you need to make sure you grab his forearm piece, which has the two side by side on the back. It has a hole here. There's a post here. Push that in. Take the fist, push it in. Now there's a square hole here that goes right onto the post that's coming out of hook. And I'm gonna straighten his arm. And so now he's got one arm. And for the right arm and the final piece, it's Scavenger. Push in his arms, pull down his head. You're basically, again, transforming him back. The only difference is you flip forward this piece on his chest, then you close this up, find his forearm piece, attach the post on Scavenger to the forearm. Now, you can have the shovel way up here. I usually like to have it kind of down here, but that's totally up to you. Push in his fist, take the big gun, put it in his fist, or you could put it in the other if you want him to be a lefty. A little tight getting it in there, but it goes in well enough. And there's a slot here for this piece to go in, and Leo is back. Now, Devastator was the first combiner, but I have to say he's not the most stable. He can come apart pretty easily. Posability, you're not moving the legs, you're not turning the head, and you can move his right arm. The left arm also turns, but you got the shield in the way. So you have to use your imagination. So there's the orange one. I've already put together the white one. The white one was a little more difficult. Again, I think it's an older mold, but he did go together. I did actually have to use a pair of tweezers, scrapper to pull those things out for his shovel to stay in place. Then I could push the head down. Pushing the head down did not want to turn down, but I'm going to turn these around slowly so you can see them from all angles. And there you have them. But wait, there's more. So I did want to do some comparisons. This, I believe, is a Walmart reissue of the original Devastator. I mean, looks exactly the same as these guys, only a different color. The original, I think, was a little bit different of a shade of lime green, but that's what you got. I also, quite a time back, had picked up a black version, and I recall I also had some issues similar with the white version, so we have that. Now, I also happen to have a G2 yellow Devastator right here. Now, some of the things that make this guy definitely G2 is there is a stamp inside Bonecrusher's shovel that says Decepticon, has a Decepticon symbol. I believe it's somewhere. It's kind of hidden on Scavenger a little bit, but it's there. So you can definitely tell, looking at these guys, they all somewhere have a stamp that says G2. Like in Mixmaster's case, it's on the back of his cab. For long haul, it's inside this piece here, but they all have the G2 Decepticon symbol and say Decepticon. So those were also present in the actual orange one. So don't be fooled if someone says this is the G2, because you'll also notice there are no launchers in his fists. And so there are ways to definitely tell. But still, this is a very cool substitute for an orange G2 Devastator. Now, there have been other yellow Devastators in the past. Apparently, there was a company, and they were called Joustra, I believe, in Europe, and they put out a bunch of Transformers early on. And because of the rust timetable, they actually had a yellow Devastator, but it was G1. So it would have the launchers. So if you got a yellow version, which I believe they do have, that is not marked as G2, it would be similar to the one by Joust that was MB Milton Bradley branded Transformers. Eventually, I think they changed it to Hasbro. They also did stuff like they had Traxes. Well, yes. The Autobot Trax was released in his original red Diaclone inside a Transformers box. Probably pretty rare. They also had like Sunstreakers inside Sideswipe boxes with instructions and sticker sheets for Sideswipe. They also apparently declared Jetfire the leader of the Autobots for a while. They put Thundercracker inside a Starscream box with Starscream information. So they released a lot of Diaclone stuff. So if you find a yellow Devastator that has all the merge pieces and is put together, but it's not marked as G2, it could be the Joustra one. It could also be a knockoff, more likely to be a knockoff. But there was another set of yellow Constructicons that was released, I believe, in '92. They were all on cards. They did not have merge pieces, and certain pieces like canopies were gray. On Bonecrusher, it was definitely gray. I think some shovels were gray, but they were put out in Europe only. They didn't even have names on the cards. They had, on the back of the card was instructions for every single one of them. And you basically had 6 Constructicons that they put out. And to fight them were the Autobot Rescue Force, which also were not named. I have my own names for them, but they were on cards, and it was 4 recolors as Autobots, part of Lyokaiser. You had the Jet Leozak, you had Drillhorn, you had, was it Hellbison? Only instead of being a tank, he had claws. And then you had the car, who was Jaguar or something like that. Jaguar. But again, they were all recolored, they were Autobots. So Devastator has an interesting history. I do remember with the black one, it's even in worse shape than the white one as far as a knockoff. This is in better shape because actually Scrapper's arms can come out very easily, which is one thing I wanted to go through all of them and make sure. So the white one, just to put this over here, I would say decent quality, some stiffness, some things don't fit as easily. The orange one seems overall to be better, though there was the loose gun for Scrapper. So minor things here, but again, I think this looks a lot like the G2. I think the color of the purple is the same. So there you have it. And I am showing you 5 different versions of this Devastator. Walmart reissue, G2, and orange, white, and black KO counterfeits. I will put links to all these in the description, but I definitely would more recommend the orange one than the white, but the white's not bad, and if you're just gonna put them on a shelf to display them with a bunch of other Devastator, why not? So there you have it. Leo's over there. You can kind of see him over in this camera. I am liking the orange one especially. I like what they did with the decal, and I will be putting stickers on eventually. They may not be exact duplicates of the stickers that go onto the G2s, but they're probably going to be pretty close. And the white one, he's cool. And again, the shattered glass, I believe, was white and red, not white and purple, but still it's a white Devastator. Why not? I think they're a lot of fun. And if you are having fun, then hey, you can subscribe to this channel if you want. That'd be awesome if you like this kind of content. And while you are mulling over these different Devastators that you can get for your collection in gift boxes that look really cool, you can also check out this video over here, which is the Autobot Rescue Force. So you can kind of see what 4/6 of Lyokaiser looks like as Autobots, and you can learn my names for them. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.